Hello, my name is Christian Fia. I am the CEO of Monarch Technologies, and today I wanted to walk you through a brief demo of our platform, specifically HELOCs, which is the ecosystem for cannabis payments. I wanted to take you through a dispensary use case. But before we get started, a little background on Monarch. So Monarch was created about 3 years ago to handle the complexities of compliance and payments and taxation, actually, within the cannabis industry. So we surveyed just about every different license holder, cannabis license holder, from dispensaries, delivery services, manufacturers, cultivators, labs, et cetera, to find out the key pain points, what were happening in the payment area. So we knew that, credit cards were federally illegal. Debit cards is another solution that is really, it's not compliant as well. So what we've done over the last 3 years is we really aim to do this payment process and system the correct way. So the first thing we did is we went out and we got our money transmittal license, and that's very important. That's a key feature, and I can tell you that 99% of our competitors do not have a money transmittal license, and this is very important. So you can see here that we are active, we are cleared to do business, and this is current. You actually need a money transmittal license to move money around on the behalf of companies. So this is a prerequisite. And the reason I'm sharing this is because this is a solution that was designed correctly from the start, that has longevity, that has legitimacy. We are also a certified third-party sender with multiple financial institutions. Our banks are our partners. Okay, so this is not just, we're not just a software company that said, hey, let's design some technology to do cannabis payments and then disregard the compliance aspect. So we are a compliance first company. Okay. Secondly, we are actually the first company that has been approved on the App Store to do cannabis payments strictly for the cannabis market. There are other competitors out there that are doing mobile payments, but they also do different industries. When you do different industries, it's a little bit scattered. Compliance is it's a bit different, but our focus is strictly on cannabis. You can see here that everything about us leads with cannabis. There's complete transparency. It took us a great number of months actually to get approved, to design this and get approved by Apple, but we finally got through. You can see here that everything about us is cannabis. We didn't want the App Store to come back to us and say, hey, you're not presenting yourself properly, so we did this correctly the first time. We're also approved on the Google Play Store. Okay, so we've got complete coverage on Apple as well as Android. Okay. All right, so let's jump into the demo. This demo will be specifically for the dispensary model. Okay, now, just for understanding's sake, this app will work with any cannabis license holder. So it doesn't matter if it's a dispensary, delivery service, cultivator, manufacturer, lab manufacturer, wholesaler, etc. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to be focusing on the process that would take place on how to take a payment in a retail dispensary model. All right, so let me bring up our platform. Okay. And let me bring over the mobile app. Screen's a little bit small, so let me see if I can arrange this properly. All right, it's good for now. Okay, so the first thing that would happen, let's just say someone walks into a dispensary. Usually there's a front desk person there, and that front desk person will introduce himself and say, thank you for coming in. Are you a returning customer or are you a new customer? So maybe they have to fill out some paperwork, or maybe they have to give some contact information. But that person will actually have a brief conversation and say, Christian, thanks for coming in. We'd like to let you know that we are now accepting a new secure cannabis payment. It's very much like Venmo for cannabis. It's called HELOCs. Would you like to take 3 minutes and do a one-time registration? And maybe that dispensary owner will do an incentive, or we actually do joint promotions with dispensary owners, and we'll incentivize that customer for taking that 3 minutes and doing registration, and we'll give them $10. We'll automatically put $10 into their wallet. if they do that registration, they link their bank account and they add funds in, we will automatically put in $10 as an incentive. All right, so what will happen first is that front desk person at the dispensary will go into the invite section, okay, and they will send out an invite. And this invite happens through SMS. So that front desk person is just going to ask for their phone number, first name and last name, and they're going to send an invite. Okay. And within a couple of seconds, that invite will show up on the user's phone. There it is right there. Okay. You can see, hello Christian. This is the Monarch Tech Collective with details on how you can pay for your current and future orders using our new secure HELOCs mobile payment app. And if you're an iPhone user, you click this link. And if you are an Android user, you click this link. And what will happen is once you click on that, that will take you to the appropriate app store or the Google Play Store, and you can download the app. Okay. All right, so as I said, there's 3 steps to actually registering for a new HELOCs account. So let me log in to our test account. Okay, so the first thing that the purchaser or the customer is going to be asked is just a series of basic questions here. And we don't ask anything intrusive, okay? We don't ask for social security numbers or driver's license numbers. You don't have to upload anything. It's just basic questions that you would be asked on any fintech or mobile app like a PayPal or Venmo or NerdWall or something like that. So just first name, last name, birth date. Keep in mind that this app is geo-fenced, and what that means is that it will actually operate in 37 different states. There are 7 states that do not have legal cannabis rulings. So if that's the case, the app will automatically determine where you are from a geography basis, and it will limit the access. So if you're in one of those 7 states, you won't even be able to do a registration. Okay, so birth date, company name if they choose, address, city, state, zip code, and phone number. Very simple. Okay, and they update that. The second part is they'll be asked to link their bank account. Okay, so we will never ask for bank account information directly. People don't know what those numbers are. They don't know what their account number is. They don't know what their routing number is. They may feel awkward in a cannabis situation. Maybe they don't want to put that in. People usually don't carry checkbooks like they used to. Just a bit of a cumbersome process to go and find those account numbers while you're actually in the dispensary. So what we've done here is we've done something called automatic bank linking. All right, so you hit this auto link button here. We are connected to about 99% of all federally chartered, state chartered, community chartered banks, as well as credit unions. So when you go into this screen, people are used to seeing their bank logos. They feel more comfortable. They are also used to logging into their online banking system, probably at least once a week. So all they would do here is they would click on their logo. Okay, they would just sign into their online banking system. I'm not going to do that here, but you're basically just going to log in, and then what happens on the next screen, it's going to show you your accounts. So it's your checking account, your savings account, money market account, whatever accounts that you have linked to your bank account. You can choose to link that account to your HELOCs wallet and push and pull money from that. Okay, so you can see this is a much simpler process. It can be done right at the dispensary level without any delay or any friction, because they have to go and find those account numbers. All right, so I've got a test account here. This is my Bank of America account. So number 1, I've registered. Number 2, I've just linked my bank account. And then the third step to get this done is just to put money in the wallet. So I'm going to put money in my wallet. There's that Bank of America account that I just created and linked. And you can see that $25 has been added instantaneously. Okay, the transactions do happen that fast, and let me show you proof of that. If I go to the ledger, move this over here a little bit. So you'll see I'm creating this Monday, May 2nd, 8:11 a.m. You can see that there is the $25 funding that I just created. And you can see there's a boatload of information here that the dispensary owner can see. He can see information about his customer, contact information, This is actually even the descriptor that will print on the bank statement. Okay, so we will handle all of the customer service. We do not require the dispensary owner to handle anything payment related as far as customer service. They can view the journey of that transaction. They can see if it's being processed, if it's been settled, if it's been distributed back to them. So at any given time, they can see the transaction journey. If they need to void that transaction, they can do that. There's compliance proof. Okay, so if they want to actually see what their customers are seeing as far as their receipts, they can do that as well. Keep in mind that our banks have access to our system, so they can log in at any time and they can spot check transactions. Okay. We do publish our phone number here. We do not hide behind email addresses. So we have customer service that runs 12 hours a day. All right, so let's move this back over here. All right. Okay, so that $25 has been added. Okay, and now that particular person has $70.79 in their wallet. Okay, you can see here everything in green is actually in addition to their balance. Anything in red would be fees, or they would be taking away the balance. All right, so all of the registration is done. That usually takes somewhere between 2 and 3 minutes. All right, so let's just say that person is in the dispensary, they got their product, they're gonna walk up to the counter, they're gonna go to the bud tender, the bud tender is gonna say, okay, Christian, your order today is $28.55, how would you like to pay for that? And I'm going to say, well, I just created my HELOCs account, I'd like to use my mobile wallet for payment. And he's gonna say, great. And what he's going to do is he's going to bring up his CRM, and he is going to find me. And you can do this by a number of ways. You can do it by email address, first name, last name, PIN code. You can do the last 3 digits of the PIN code, which is simple. And we've tried to design this that it's the least amount of keystrokes for a bud tender in the least amount of time. So we've timed this whole process. The time it takes to send a payment request is about 45 seconds. All right, so here's our test account. Let's just put in $1 for simplicity's sake. That bud tender is going to go ahead and put in the name of his store. And then according to the store configurations, you can either send text messages or you can send that payment request directly to the mobile app as a push notification. Okay, and you can see here there's a whole history of all of the transactions that have been done prior. The bud tender will also be incentivized with a tip. Okay. Now, if that bud tender is incentivized with a tip, he's probably more likely to have that conversation with a customer because he knows he's going to get, an extra 50 cents, $1, maybe even $2 for each transaction that comes through his wallet. So they're incentivized at that point. If the bud tender wants to associate the POS number directly with the HELOC's payment request, he can do that as well. Not required, but it is an option. And then there's 2 methods here. So we can generate a QR code. Okay. And then I've got my phone in my hand, and I'm going to go to payments, and I'm going to go to pay a request. I'm going to bring out my scanner, and I'm going to scan that QR code, and that amount automatically pops into my wallet. This is not editable. You cannot change it. All you can do is go forward. There's going to be the representation of the bud tender tip right here. If you want to make a tip, you can do that. Okay. And that transaction is now completed for $1. And you can see here that transaction was in a pending payment state. If you go ahead and reload the payment information, that changes from pending to paid, and then the bud tender can hand over the product, and that's the end of the transaction. Okay, so that's one way to do it, through a QR code. Now let me demonstrate another way through a push notification. So let's do that same transaction again. And this time, instead of using a QR code, I'm going to do a push notification. Now this push notification is interesting because it does not require you to be face-to-face. Now, let me show you what that looks like. So let's turn that off, and this time we just want to send it directly to the phone. And you can see instantaneously it pops up on their phone, payment notification from the Monarch collector for $1.20. Click on that. Again, you cannot edit it. All you can do is move forward, associate a tip if you'd like, and that transaction is done. It automatically shows up in the ledger. You have a full account history. At any given time, you can see there's a pending transaction. Go ahead and reload it. And it's the same thing with the QR code. It's now been paid. The bud tender can hand over the product. Okay. Now let's just say that a person has a question on a particular transaction. Let's just say here, this $1.20 transaction. If he wasn't sure what that is, all he would have to do is swipe. This will turn into an inquiry. It will automatically populate with our customer service number and send that transaction to our help desk for further help. Okay, so there's no fumbling, no copying and pasting. It's very simple to get help on any individual transaction. Okay, and if we go back to the ledger, you can see that all of our transactions are clearly delineated, all of the fees, they're all neatly displayed here that the dispensary owner can see at any given time. Okay, so let me move that out of the way. Now from an accounting standpoint, you can download these transactions. Okay, you can download them as a CSV, or you can download them as a PDF. You can import them into whatever accounting software you use, whether that's QuickBooks or something other than that. But everything is available. The data can be downloaded in CSV or PDF format for reconciliation. Okay. Now what happens is that we have given the purchaser pre-ledger credit. Okay. So what does that mean? So if I go back to the app, remember when we did the account load? Okay, it was instantaneous. That's a key point here, because usually when a bank-to-bank or ACH transaction is done, usually there's a wait period between 3 and 5 days. Okay, so we don't have to handle that at all. As soon as that your customer links their bank account, we will give them pre-ledger credit, all right? Because we know how much money is actually in their bank account. So there is no waiting. So this can be used instantaneously as soon as they do registration. They can either do that, you can invite them remotely. Actually, that's a key point. Let me go back to that. So when I did the invite here, I just did it one-off. Usually what happens is that obviously the dispensary owner has access to his customers. Usually he's got their SMS phone numbers or email addresses. Doesn't matter if it's a dozen, hundreds, or even thousands. He could actually invite all of those people at one time, doing a bulk upload of a CSV file of their first name, their last name, and their SMS numbers, and the system will automatically invite all of them. So they could actually do the registration outside of the store, outside of the dispensary. So the time that they get there, they're already registered, they link their bank account, they put some money in their wallet, so they're ready to go as a payment source, and they don't have to spend that 3 minutes inside the dispensary. Okay, so we wanted to reduce line depth, and we wanted to reduce the wait, and we wanted to reduce any type of extra activity that either that front desk person or a bud tender might have to do. Okay, so keep that in mind. So another key point is settlement. So let's just say that these transactions happen on a Monday. We will send our transactions to our bank multiple times a day. But transactions that go to the bank on a Monday will typically be deposited back into the dispensary owner's bank account on Wednesday. So you're looking at a 48-hour to 72-hour, depending upon the bank and how they post to their system. But usually on average, it's about 48 hours from the time that the purchaser does a transaction on the Helix mobile wallet until that money goes back into the dispensary owner's bank account. Okay. There's a lot more in the system here, but really that's what I wanted to cover today. We talked about the 3 steps. We've talked about what HELOCs actually is, the mobile wallet solution for cannabis payments. We talked about doing the registration, linking your bank account, adding money to your bank account, and how that bud tender or retail operator would send the purchaser a payment request either through a QR code or through a push notification. And we've also talked about how the funds will settle back to the dispensary owner's bank account in approximately 48 hours. Okay, so this concludes this video. Thank you.